My sister, 32, moved in with me because she got pregnant 5 months ago from what she claimed was a one-night stand. I love my sister, so of course, I took her in. My husband is overseas for 6 more months, so it was nice to have her around because I care about her very much. On Monday, I came home and saw my sister and a strange woman in a screaming match on my doorstep. I obviously didn't know what was happening, but I saw the woman poking my pregnant sister's shoulder, so I intervened. I sent my sister inside, and she begged me to send the woman away. I didn't understand what was going on, but I wanted the altercation to end for everyone's sake, so I told the woman as much. Then she started screaming, asking me if I was also sleeping with her husband. I was like? And then she basically revealed that my sister had been having an affair with her husband for 5 years. 5 years. She had everything printed out, chats, photos, emails, receipts. It was disturbing to see, and I didn't want to go through it all. But a few things were established. 1. My sister knew about his wife. She knew she was the mistress and liked it. 2. This woman was a stay-at-home mom to their 4 kids, one of whom has a severe disability from a car accident. 3. Her husband knew about my sister's pregnancy and even took her on a baby moon to celebrate it. 4. The affair had been going on the entire time, with my sister believing he would eventually leave his wife for her. 5. My sister had fully embraced the role of being the other woman and was emotionally invested in their relationship, despite his repeated lies about leaving his wife. I told the woman I was very sorry and that I obviously didn't know, but I asked her to leave because this wasn't going anywhere, and I didn't want the neighbors to call the police. She was furious but gave me her number on a post-it, begging me not to let her husband stay at my house. I assured her that no man was stepping foot in my home. My sister was begging me not to believe the woman, calling her a vindictive ex-wife. I told her, all right then, let's look up the marriage online. Let's see if a motion for dissolution of marriage was ever submitted. We fought hard. My sister kept saying I would never understand and that they loved each other, but he just couldn't leave his wife, blah blah blah. I called her dumb and naive. The next day, I told her she could stay here because I didn't want her to become a financial burden on that woman in any way, but I also told her that, right now, I didn't want to engage with her. My sister asked me if I still loved her, and I told her honestly, right now, I can't say I do. I will always help my nephew and not endanger you, but I can't like you because you've shown me you're not a trustworthy person. I told her I didn't trust her not to try anything with my husband, and I didn't trust her with anything at all, so I made her sign a tenants agreement. She's been begging me to forgive her, and I told her there's nothing to forgive. I just don't know who she is anymore. Ada commenter, NTA. You need to make sure she is out of your home before your husband comes home, because you are right, you cannot trust her. Oop, I wouldn't worry. I trust my husband 100%. Not my sister anymore, though. I already told him and asked if she ever did something and he said no commenter. NTA, your sister's behavior was vile and inexcusable. That poor woman and her children. Her husband is an absolute puss. Oop, I said the affair started 5 years ago, right? Now guess when she, wife / and the kid got into an accident that left the kid disabled. Commenter, and your sister knew? She's a despicable person and I'm amazed how strong you are for still keeping her housed with you. NTA. Oop, she met the flicking kids. Took them to the zoo with the bastard commenter. Wow, that is severely ballsy. Oop, she wanted them to get to know her so she cowl hop right into the mom role as soon as he divorced his wife. Yeah right. They died 7 years ago. Commenter, you should ask for pics so you know what this guy looks like, and arrange to get outdoor cameras at the least so your sis isn't sneaking him around when you're at work. It should be grounds for eviction if she does allow him around. Oop, I saw him in the pictures his wife showed me. Also I work from home ATM. So no dice. One of my reasons is that I don't want her to get an apartment on his dime when that money should go to his kids. Also, my nephew doesn't deserve to be born homeless. Commenter, just curious, what does your husband say about this situation? Oop, he said that it is very disappointing she turned out to be like that and said that it is difficult to trust her as she proved to be such a good liar. Her is the one who helped me with the tenancy agreement and all. Commenter, downvoted, yeah that whole thing might just be so that she has tenant rights so that she can try to ruin your fucking life. Oop, listen, you don't know which country I am from. We got legal help and did this together with someone that actually has a clue. We saves our asses like this. If not, that would be akin to squatters' rights in the US. Commenter, op, what are you going to do once the baby is here? Assuming the dad wants to be in the kid's life at least somewhat, I think it's unreasonable to ban him from the house. Oop, if she wants him there she can get her very own apartment. If she still wants to stay and save up for baby she has to adhere to my house rules. She is free to go and see him outside. I put up my rules. If she wants to stay she has to adhere to them. She has been told. She still has 4 months to make that decision. If she wants him physically with her after birth she can do that. But not in my house. She got the address from BIS phone update 1. First, I'd like to clarify a few things. I am not going to tell my sister to get rid of the baby, that's not my place, and I would never suggest such a thing. Also, I am not going to install tracking software on her phone or demand access to all her devices. That's invasive and wrong. I've been thinking a lot, and while I can't say that I don't love my sister, It's very hard to feel that love right now. I don't know who she is anymore. It's not just that she lied to me, it's what she did and how convinced she is that she was justified because they were in love. She's brought chaos into my home that I opened up to her. I'm deeply disappointed in her, and I just don't like her at the moment. I'm letting her stay with me because I don't want her to become dependent on him. I don't think he's a good man either, and as a social worker, I've seen these scenarios too many times. My sister is already deluded. I don't need to open the door to a dependency that's also financial. Now, on to the update. I haven't been punishing my sister, but I've been treating her like a roommate. This is driving her crazy. She's begging me to go back to how things were before, but I can't. I told her that I need time and that things can't just return to normal overnight. She tried to explain how it all happened. She admitted that she always knew he was married but believed she could tell how unhappy he was and felt he deserved to be happy. They met at a bar a few weeks after his son's accident. He told her that his wife hadn't touched him since it happened and that he was about to explode. I asked her why she would involve herself with a married man, knowing the hurt it would cause. She said she wanted to be a wife and a good mom, and that included his kids. She had hoped he would divorce his wife so they could all move on and finally be happy together. I just stared at her, unable to comprehend how she could rationalize her actions. A few days later, he appeared at our house, claiming he had left his wife and wanted to be with my sister. I told him to leave immediately or I would call the police. My sister was furious with me, accusing me of ruining her chance at happiness. I made it clear to her, if he comes over again, I will evict her. She's free to date anyone she wants, but not under my roof. I also told her that if she plans to have him around after the baby is born, she'll need to find her own place. Word has gotten around our community about the affair. While we were grocery shopping, a woman even spat on my sister. Many of her friends have cut ties with her, calling her a homewrecker. Some are married themselves and don't want her near their husbands. I haven't said I told you so even once. We unexpectedly ran into his wife at a local cafe. My sister wanted to apologize and suggested that maybe they could all have a good relationship for the sake of the kids. The wife laughed coldly and said, "You made your choices, now live with them. Don't expect me to make this easier for you." My sister is devastated and has been lying in bed ever since. I'm taking care of her physical needs, making sure she eats, stays hydrated, and attends her prenatal appointments, but I can't bring myself to comfort her emotionally. I just don't have it in me right now. Commenter, is your sister mentally sound? She seems to be living in a fantasy world. NTA oop, I don't think she is having a psychotic break. I think she is in too far, and now that she has destroyed her life, she is trying to make it work. Commenter, to get in this far she can't be a good person, and neither can he. They're both so insanely selfish that they put getting laid over destroying his kid's family and home. I feel horribly for that child, its parents are trash. Oop, that's has also been my thoughts. Commenter, I asked the last time and wasn't answered. How did your sister make it to like 32, and wasn't living with you? Was she working? Why did she immediately stop working the second she found out she was pregnant? If she didn't, why did she give up her apartment and move in with you? A 32 years old living alone had some way to support herself, and people don't just quit their jobs overnight because they got pregnant unless it's because they are in a stable relationship and the partner was willing to support them, in which case again moving in with you would not be necessary. You talk about not being financially dependent on him, but now she's financially dependent on you? Why would you agree to allow her to become financially dependent on you, and why would you accept the cost of caring for an adult and her child just because it's your sister? If she is not working, she should absolutely not have the kid, and you should absolutely not be bearing the brunt of her bad decisions. Oop, I had quite a few, so I don't believe I read yours, or at least not fully. I answered someone who asked something similar. Yes, she has a job. She moved in with me to save up for her baby. She is on maternity leave. Her job is not super high paying. I am not responding to the rest of the comment as it seems more aggressive than helpful. Good thing we are not in the US. Neither the UK, yeah? You get 100% of the pay for 6 months, after that 80% or something like that for 6 more months, and I think 50% if you go over a year. Also notice how I said not super high paying? Commenter, I was spit on multiple times growing up because I was a bastard. I received a lot of hate because my birther was an unwed teen mom. Random people, teachers, churchgoers, good chunk of so-called family. Small towns suck more than I can say. Oop, they go pretty hard in the name of Jesus. Hypocrites if you ask me, I won't say. But we are quite religious here. Old women think they are the law and all that. Commenter, holy shit, someone spit on her? What are you people, Amish? Oop, Catholic. Commenter, he appeared at our house, claiming he had left his wife and wanted to be with my sister, haha. Sure, he left his wife after 5 years, coincidentally at the moment she discovered everything. I'm completely sure it's not the wife who dumped him. /s oop, I think the same thing. Commenter, your sister really is a piece of work. What did she expect would happen once news of the affair got out? If it weren't for the fact that she's pregnant, I wouldn't have put it past someone to do more than spit at her. The child is going to grow up hated by affair partners, soon to be ex, and their children. Oop, I think worse is coming to her. I know our town. That's why she mostly stays in right now. I blame him. He is a horrible man with no morals. He couldn't even wait for his son to be out of the hospital to start an affair because his ballpark wasn't getting scratched by his wife, who was also in the accident. I hate him. I hate him so badly that I resent that he exists. But he is not in my life. I didn't know him. He has no cards in my game. I am so mad at my sister for not only fucking up her life but also bringing chaos in mine after I opened my home to her. I am mad she lied to me for 5 years, but most of all, I am disgusted with her horrible selfish actions. She wasn't lured into this. She knew from the beginning that she was a mistress. She knew what she was doing. She knew it was wrong, and yet she kept doing it and lying through her teeth. I don't know who she is. Now on to second story. Boyfriend criticized my weight loss journey despite my health concerns and refused to discuss compromise, leaving me utterly confused. I've been dating my BF, Blake, for almost 6 years. We've been happy together. We moved in last spring when I graduated. I have a steady job and we just adopted a cat. I've been happy in every aspect of my life except one, my health. I've been chubby all my life, but during my 6-year relationship, I've gained almost 40 pounds. I'm not that tall either, so I don't carry the weight WL at all. Especially since I certainly wasn't skinny before. Blake has always loved me and my body, regardless of cellulite or bigger waistbands. He's of average weight, and I'm so grateful that my weight gain hasn't been a deal breaker for him. He always says I'm absolutely beautiful no matter what, and he is great at showing it. Our sex life is wonderful. We have sex or bring each other to orgasm nearly daily, which is awesome because I have a high sex drive, and apparently he does too. So despite Blake being very genuine about loving me no matter what, I'm uncomfortable with my weight. I work in healthcare, and while it hasn't been an issue, I'm afraid it may start negatively affecting my professional life. So a few weeks ago I told Blake I need to get a handle on my weight. No more junk food, no more fast food, and I'm going to the gym. I've done really well sticking to it so far. I only slip up on Coca-Cola because I have an addiction to the caffeine and hate Diet Coke / but I only drink 1 can a day and work it into my overall calories, so it's working okay. Blake was a little resistant to the changes. I'm the one that usually cooks, and I'm big on casseroles and making desserts. And pizza. I've been working really hard on making low-fat foods. Blake eats like a truck and isn't a huge fan of my new low-fat foods. I usually make grilled chicken and rice, or salad, so I'll make some sort of sauce for him to eat the chicken with while I eat it plain. I've also told him that I can make desserts for him, but I'd like not to because I know I'd eat them. This was nothing more than some grumbling that I sympathized to and tried to help with. Then, I started getting up early to use the gym. Our apartment had a gym that's literally 100 feet from our door. I get up at 6 now, use the gym for an hour, then shower and go about my normal routine. I used to wake up at 7, so not too much has changed. Blake has complained heavily about how I'm waking him up too early. He works from home and usually sleeps in until after 8, just enough time to kiss me before I leave for work. He says he can't get back to bed after I slip out at 6. I understood, so I started going at 8 at night, coming home at 9, showering, and getting ready for bed. Then Blake complained that it cut into our time. I told him that I would be going to the gym, and it's up to him if I should go in the morning or evening, as either works fine for me. He finally agreed that nights were better. I know it's early and probably water weight, but my scrubs waistband is already a little looser. I have to tie it to stay up, where before it didn't need to be tied. I showed Blake and he was not enthusiastic. Just kinda like, oh, cool, I guess. He's usually not so passive aggressive, so I asked what was up. He straight up said, I don't want you to lose weight. I was baffled, and a little upset. I was already working hard and I was happy with the changes I wanted to make. I asked him point blank, why don't you want me to lose weight? He was kinda huffy and beating around the bush. He said that too much was changing. He loved me how I was, and he didn't think it was necessary. I told him if you love me no matter what, then loving me while I lose weight and get healthier shouldn't be a problem. He reiterated over and over that too much was changing and he thought all this effort was unnecessary. I asked him if there was anything I could do to make the changes easier for the both of us. He just said stop dieting and going to the gym. I told him I wasn't going to do that. He wouldn't talk with me anymore. The fuck? I really am at a loss. I also don't have any intention of stopping my health journey. Is this really all about the schedule and food changes? I could make 2 meals, but Blake won't tell me what would make these changes easier. I don't know what to do about the gym. I really want to go. Update 1. I had told my BF ahead of time that I wanted to talk, and he said that he would work hard in the morning so he could finish his work early. I felt really nervous talking to him. Blake is basically average in anything, objectively, but of course I think he's excellent, but he's very confident. His confidence has always seemed very genuine, so I really didn't think it was insecurity. A lot of people suggested that. Insecurity about himself, his body, his laziness, which he really isn't, concern that I may be cheating or more tempted to cheat, etc. It didn't seem right. We have a very solid relationship. Neither of us have been even slightly unfaithful. We're usually not one-on-one with opposite sex, we don't talk to old exes, never been on dating sites, never even been interested in threesomes or group sex. We're very strictly monogamous and I've been clear on my stance. Blake is not the jealous type, never has been, and I'm not the type to wander whatsoever. I still went in with an open mind, because I know that jealousy isn't always reasonable. Anyway, we sat down and I said, roughly, Blake, I love you. Because I love you, I want to stick around for a long time with you. I've developed some unhealthy habits over our relationship that I'd like to correct. I am going to continue to go to the gym and cook healthy. I'd love it if you were a part of that, but if you're not interested, I'd still love your support. He seemed pretty embarrassed the whole time I was talking. Just kinda awkward. He apologized for being unsupported and said that he really loves me, and if getting healthy was my goal, he supported it. So I asked why he was so against it initially. And, well, he's a fat fetishist. Or a chubby chaser. Or whatever. He likes big women. He told me that my figure at this moment, which is 5 feet 6 inches, about 210, very busty and hippie, was his absolute dream figure for women. He apologized and said he acted very childishly because he was embarrassed to admit it. He told a few friends a long time ago and I'd use S1 spread word around and he got teased. Plus it's probably not completely okay in this current society to like big women. But I digress. I know a few people called it. I didn't write them off completely, but I just didn't really think that was the case. It's really weird. So I asked him some questions. These are all paraphrased, FYI. My memory isn't that good. Me, so is it like the bigger the better? Him, no, not really. Like from 200 to 250 pounds is my favorite. Average height, or tall. I probably wouldn't date anyone over 300 pounds. Me, did you love my figure when I was thinner? Him, of course. Me, but you love it more now? Him, honestly yes, it's my preference. But you still had an amazing figure when we first dated. Me, are you going to be angry or upset if I continue to lose weight? Him, not really, I still feel bad enough for being such an asshole about it. Me, what if I get skinnier than 170-ish pounds? Him, I'll deal with it. It's a me thing. You're still going to be really hot and I love way more about you than your weight. So I got answers and I felt a little better. Initially. We hugged it out and cuddled on the couch with Netflix. He tried to initiate sex but I just couldn't. It's hard to explain. It's just weird when you realize your boyfriend only dated you because of a physical aspect, you know? He only wanted me because I was chubby when we met. I felt really objectified, honestly. Maybe that's too strong a reaction for a pretty mild fetish / preference / whatever, but I still felt weird. Blake could tell I wasn't into making out with him, and asked if I was okay. I tried to explain what I was feeling, but it's hard to. I'm much better at writing than I am talking, and I mean I feel like I barely made sense in the above paragraph. Blake was a little upset. Not at me, just that this problem was arising. He asked me what he could do, and I said I wasn't sure. I probably just needed time before I could be intimate. This was a big thing to hide, you know? I wish he had told me sooner. I don't know. Probably before we had sex the first time I'd want to know. I don't know if I would have stayed or left, but this feels so weird now. Like it's a part of him that didn't exist before and now it's all I think about. So now I have these concerns. I do want to keep losing weight. I want to be healthy. But what if Blake can't handle me being thinner? What if he leaves for a woman that fulfills his sexual desires? Will he be unhappy with me losing weight? Will he try to sabotage me? I brought all of these up to him, and very genuinely assured me that it would never happen. Weight is a preference and he prefers me more than anything. I believe him, but I feel like my mind is tainted. Will this just get better with time? I'm not sure how to proceed. I still love him, of course, and want to marry him and be with him. I just feel like there's a block now. And before anyone suggests it, he did not get me fat on purpose. I was already chubby, already had bad eating habits. The last 4 years I've been living in dorms, on my own, with Blake, etc., and had the freedom to make crappy choices. Which I did. I very likely would have gained the weight regardless of my dating status. Is this something I can get over? Is this something I should get over? I feel like Blake's doing everything he can to assure me he loves me regardless of any physical aspect. But I'm still feeling a little resentful that for all these years he hid something from me, that's about me, you know? Edit. So basically everyone is saying that I just need to get over it. I'm not saying that I won't, but gets old going through a ton of messages saying the same thing. It mostly feels like people are kinda dismissing a few things that I've expressed concern with. It's awesome that Blake genuinely loves me regardless of any personal preference. I am not taking that for granted. But it's still something I feel like he's kept from me that he old and have. I have kinks and fetishes that I've been shamed about before, and I still told him. Also, a lot of people are focusing on me being a little concerned that he started dating me because he was attracted to me being overweight. I get that physical attraction and types are important. I was receptive to Blake when he approached because I found him attractive. But what kept me continuing to talk to him was his smile, his laugh, his humor, etc. I don't know. I hate that it feels like everyone is saying you're overreacting. Don't feel this way.